Welcome to Revenge of Tlaloc. This is a water ride I've built over the course of 3 days. In this video I will show you how to connect all the paths to get the optimal experience out of this ride. Let's first do a quick overview of the paths that we currently have going on. The main area are these two roundabouts at the either end of the ride, and they're connected with a 10-meter wide path. There's also a little viewing area over here, you can build a path over that. The queue starts over here. It first snakes about, then goes up a ramp, to a little tunnel with an overview, back down some stairs, snakes about, passes a little viewing area, then it goes into the station. Now the exit of the ride is on the other side. It's in the middle of the ride, and then first it goes over this little yeti, up some stairs, over some scaffolding, back down again, and then here's the exit of the ride. Now let's load in the blueprint, and then I'll show you how I would connect the paths. First of all, when you load in the blueprint, there's this little hide this item. Now if you sink the ride far enough that it just sinks into the floor, you should have the perfect height. There's no clipping or gaps underneath the ride. Bam! Now here's the plain ride. All the paths are actually covered up, so if you don't want to fiddle about too much, you can always choose for thinner paths. And there's a margin built in everywhere that you can properly snake them about. So what I would do first is these pieces in the corner over here. It's a bit hard to see, but these are slightly raised higher than the rest, and I tend to use this as the indication. Let me just pause the game so we have no noise going on. I prefer to use these to set the current height of my path, the correct height of my path. So I place some path underneath and I'll try and raise it up. Come on, game. Now please note that I also turn off most of the railings. So I sink it in until it clears the top of the path. Now I'm a bit... Oh, my length is really long. I don't want that. Now once I... Hold on a second. Raise the path till it's above that. I place down the path here. First I build a roundabouts. So I sink it in. I always do a proper temp. Now I'm quite a bit off because it's currently overlapping with the stores we have going, so we might want to bring it back to the left a bit. So we use the multi-select tool and then use advanced move and just slightly scoot it over till it clears. There we go. Now I was a bit lucky on this attempt that I actually managed to get the roundabout perfectly centered over here. Almost perfectly centered. But yeah. So now we got that height going on. I make my path a lot thinner, and then I start building out a fair bit from here. But I try to keep it centered as much. Now we have a bit of margin. I'm not sure what happened there. We have a bit of a margin in these rocks over here. Now I built the thin path, and I bump it all the way up to 10 meters wide, and I place it down there. Now I start building from this area, and I try to build back to the roundabout. And this might take a couple of attempts to get it perfect. There's a bit of clipping going on here, so I remove this centerpiece and try again. This looks pretty good already. Now on this part I tend to keep the margin going into the rocks. It's quite a narrow fit, but it works. Now at this part you could technically use the grid tool to build the path, but I just think it's a bit more flowing when you do it by hand. Oh, it's a bit fiddly over here, but it's perfectly doable. I am not too bored that it clips in here, because the people don't really walk that close to the edge of the path. But if you are bothered, you could always extend the path somewhere. Build back a bit. Look, this looks pretty good. Just by adjusting the length a bit. There you go. Well, close enough. You might get it a bit better in your attempt. So now we have this path going on. Let's build the little viewing stand over here. I try to build out wide at first. Make sure you have curved slopes turned on. And then I just raise it 1. And I build along the viewing path. Go down. Oh. Pretty close, got a bit of clipping going on, so I can improve on that. There we go, that's pretty tight. Now you might clip through these stairs, but that's not that big of a deal to me. I kind of like it that way. And that's pretty decent if you ask me. Now let's start working on the queue. I really like the wood path. Now you could also build this using the grid tool, if you can manage to select it. You get it pretty straight past here. Up until this point, build it up out to here and then stop. Now we go to the other side of the queue. And we start building the entrance to the ride. Now you could also, if you don't like the look of this wood over here, you could start a piece randomly and then raise it up. Oh, I'm having some issues with my camera. So let's do it the way I prefer it. I raise it up till I just about see the path, and I build back a bit. Try and stick it to the curve. I'm a bit of a hissy fit here, but you could probably do a bit better if you use the line to grid or remove the slopes. But this is good enough for now. Now at this point it will probably clip through a bit. You can always build it a bit more tightly than I'm doing right now. Now here we build back a bit, and then we connect it like so. It's a bit tricky, but it's doable. Up until this point, we now build inwards and build up. A gentle slope, it goes up 3 high, then flat, then 2 more pieces, 2 1 meter pieces. What is it? 3 meter wide pieces. Up 3 more. Oh, actually, it's 4 up here. Build back down, and now it should sink just into the floor. Which is good, it's the way I intended it. You could turn this area into a 4 meter wide part, because it's built for that. So now we're building a bit of a thicker path over here. Give the people a bit more freedom while they go over this bridge, through the tunnels. And now we reach another stairs. So bring it back down for free. Build out one. And then, my bad. I'm having a bit of a hissy fit over here again. Build it out. And then you could turn off curved slopes. Build some stairs down. Adjust the angle. Back down 2. And we're back on the floor. Build along this path. Now at this moment the path will likely float above the underlying ground, which is fine. It's also the way in the original version. Just build it along here. And now at this point you should probably raise it one. Oh, I might want to use a curved slope for that. Well, I'll deal with this. And it might or might not clip through. I actually prefer it to clip through a bit over here. It's a bit more gradual. There's a bit of a gap here, so let's redo that. Consider it like a step. Now if you spend some time and effort you can make it a lot more pretty. Let's continue with the exit of the ride. So build the path. Get a grid. Or let's not get a grid because it's being a bit annoying. Basically build it as close to the building as possible so the path falls in between the gates. Now we reach this point, and I believe I still have curved slopes turned off. So we go up 2 stairs, back down. Should fit perfectly, by the way, if you use the shortest path pieces. Build over, and over. Up to this point, go straight hard right. 2 stairs back down, bring it back up level. And just continue building it between these 2 fences until we reach the end. And there we go. We completed all the path work on this ride. Now, if you want to connect it to the rest of your park, what I tend to do is, for example, right here, I want the people to be able to enter the area from here or from here. It doesn't really matter. What you do is basically you just move some of these rocks away. And you can alter the terrain or use the rocks as decoration, which you just removed. And then I like it to be a 10-meter wide path. And I just built down from here. And it's like 2 gradual slopes when you sank in the little sign over here. Now using these rocks I can decorate this a bit more, make it a bit more gradual. Like this. Now we also have, of course, a duplicate tool. For me it's Ctrl D. Right. Scoot them over. Sink them into the ground a bit. Some advanced move duplication going on. Oh, we got a bit of a gap over here, so let's fix that. There we go. Good enough for me, for now. Now, of course, you can spend all the time you want to make this look really pretty. Of course, you can add the let's add some monsieur frites. Monsieur fritas. Food shops, custom. Food. Monsieur fritas. add to building, sink it in. It should automatically connect to the path. Now I have moisture free Gulpy. Over here I pre-placed some Gulpy slush and Tiki Chiki. Now if you build the path really nice, this will actually fit underneath the columns right here. You could of course try and do the same thing, building the roundabout. First using the same height technique. And then align it a bit better. But yeah, that's all how the pathwork works on Revenge of Tlaloc. Good luck and happy Planet Coaster building.